And welcome back, and today I want to talk about QNAP NAS, but moreover I want to talk about just how easy it is to set up a bunch of user accounts with different privileges and different access for your home or business. Now, I had a question from a guy called Kevin B who asked exactly how to set this up before buying a NAS. And I thought it was interesting enough a question that I thought it was worth making a video about it. So, using the new QNAP TS351 Plus, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to set up 10 user accounts for different members of your business with varying levels of control to different data. So what we're going to do is make our way into our NAS. For those that aren't aware, you need to use the QFinder Pro application, and then from there you can go in via your desktop and make your way into the desktop of the NAS. That is my wonderful caps lock that is invisible to me. So we'll make our way into the desktop. Right now, this is actually just following a video that I did using how to set up a NAS RAID for the first time. We're going to make our way into the main desktop. Again, this has only just been set up, hence the little pop-ups there. First and foremost, we're going to create a bunch of folders. We should already have a nice shared area of a shared volume there. We're going to create just some folders real quick, shared folders to be shared with the network. We're going to call one of them marketing. We're going to say that one's just for marketing purposes, you know, promo, that sort of thing. And again, we're just going to create this folder. We're not going to go into too much detail. We're going to skip through these very, very quickly indeed, because again, if you want more bespoke controls, you can add stuff later on. Next to that, we are in our main volume. We're going to have, let's get rid of that. In our main volume, we're going to not only have marketing, we're going to create a new folder in this structure here. We're going to call this one payroll. Again, same thing, and we can add privileges later on, because you can either create the users then the folders, or create the folders then the users. To be honest, it's going to add up to the same time anyway, but for the sake of this argument, I'm going to just do the folders first. Next, we're going to do public. So this would be maybe where photos and images from the work outing go. For some reason it doesn't want to use public, of course not, because it already exists down there. Silly, silly me. Public media. I'm going to create this folder nice and quick. And we're going to create maybe one more folder. We're going to go for something a little bit juicier. We're going to go for something like disciplinaries, perhaps. We've all worked in places like that. And this new shared folder, we're going to call this discipline. Very badly spelt there earlier. We're going to create these folders. And then we're going to create a bunch of phantom users and give them different access. So now we've got our folders. And again, if you're working in a PC or Mac based environment and you don't want to have to go to the QTS environment like this, what you can do is use the same application, find the NAS on the network, which is this one, right click, go to Map Network Drive, and from here you can access all of those folders if the login credentials, which is admin in my case, has access to them, and then your IT guy can create network accessible folders that can be accessed directly from your desktop PC without you having to use the web browser. So carrying on, let's go back to that. We'll save that for another video. Now we've created our folders, let's create our users, our members of staff. So we go into control panel, and from here we go to users and user groups, and from here we can either create a user group and just call those, because right there we've got our administrator. Let's go for one of them and let's call these people management. And management, we can assign users to this group or create the group first, and we can edit their folder permissions. So if we go to edit, we'll say that management can access, and remember that's read only, deny access, or read and write. So I think we're going to give the management access to the public data for read and write use. We're going to give them access to payroll for read only use, marketing, read and write, and disciplines, they can have read and write, and everything else we're going to deny them access. So now anyone that we pop in that group that we've referred to as management, that is the folders these people now have access to. It really is that straightforward. Now, moving forward, we've created our management group. So how about we create another one, and we'll call this user group staff. How about, staff shop floor. There we go, anyone that's worked in retail. And from there, we can now create a user group for them. And these people, we're going to give them, maybe they can see marketing materials, maybe they can see public media. We don't want them to see anything else, so we can deny them absolutely everything else. And then we're now going to create this user group. Oh no, we've got the name wrong, that's why. Should be mentioned, you can't have spaces in there because of usernames and IDs, my bad. But from here, now we've created a second group for our general members of staff, your part-timers, your shop floor people, basically your pay packet people. And these are the people, this is the folder, so they're going to have access to this general materials. And now we created our groups. So now we create our users. And remember, everything we're doing right now, we can do in any order we please. I just happen to be doing it in this order. So let's create multiple users. Let's go for next. So we'll give this person, we can give the person name 1, name 2, name 3. So if we call this person office, so the username is going to be office, and we want it to start at user number 1. We want 10 office users, and all of these office users are going to have the same password if we choose, and their password is just going to be the word password. So their login name is going to be office 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And we can either create a private network for each individual user or one general area of access for all of those users. So they can either have their own or they've all got access to the same pool. For now, we're going to give them access to exactly the same pool of information. There's all of our users, all of which have got the same login information. And the QNAP now is going to give these users each username. You assign these users. So if you've got someone in your office, they can be Office 1, Office 2, Office 3, depending on who they are. All of them with the same password. And all of these users have now got access to the same group area. And once again, you can create individual identities for all of these users if you want, or you can create a user group whereby individual members or key members are inside. Now, say you didn't want to go for a bulk of people, you wanted to create one user. From here, we can add a picture if you want, and we'll give this person their own username. So we're going to call them Kevin. Their name's Kevin. We'll give them a password. Obviously, I'm going to go for the word password. We can verify that password. And again, bink, there it is. Give them your own personal information. They can have an email address if you want them to get notifications. And from here, this user, we can now give them a user group. Now, Kevin, we're going to say is just on the shop floor. So we're just going to give him shop floor privileges. We don't have to give him any more specific shared folder permissions because we've assigned him a user group. And we can access and change his privileges within the NAS if we want, and go really, really deep if we want. But for now, we are denying him access to all the folders apart from the ones we've given him. And Kevin will now have a different user ID and identity to everyone else. So now, Kevin, if we open up an incognito window over here, or we've got some stuff happening there in the background, and now we can go to the same NAS as before. So if we log into our NAS here, we'll log in there, it's that IP there. Forgot it's not going to play the game and do it in incognito, is it? So we go into NAS, and this time we log in with Kevin. And with Kevin's user identity, we shouldn't be able to see all of those folders. All we should be able to see is read-only access to marketing and read and write access to public. So this new user we've just created has now got access to the QNAP NAS, but only the folders we give him. As you can see, all those apps have disappeared. All of that account access has disappeared. They've got no access to the updates. They can't add apps or remove apps. And if we go into File Station, all they can see is those two folders. That's how easy it is to add users and user groups to a QNAP NAS. Now, say all of these Office users, for example, say we do another user. Let's go for a new user here. We're going to make this guy management. This guy, Daniel, let's call him Daniel here. Give him a password. And now Daniel, we can put all that information in. And Daniel, we're going to give this guy full access. We can give him administrator, which is basically access to everything. Give him management. So how about if we give him admin and management? If he's the store owner, now he accesses everything on the NAS. We can also change his access to applications. We're giving him access to everything, and now this character Daniel has unlimited access to the NAS. We can create dual admin, and one admin can monitor another, and that's really that straightforward. Perhaps you are someone that already has an existing database of users in the form of a TXT, CSV or bin file. The QNAP will let you upload your database into the QNAP and therefore assign privileges and abilities and visibility for those users based on your own existing database, which is pretty cool. Finally, let's go back to those user groups and those shared folders, because what we're going to do is those office users we created, we're now going to do it slightly the other way around in case we wanted to give those office staff access to the management tools. So for now, what we want to do is go into management, click edit, and now we're going to add those users to this group, because right now they've all got access to that group and we can edit their shared permissions. So again, there they all are. We can chuck them all in, apply all of those, and now we can edit that user group as we see fit. Now, say for example, one user, you need to give them temporary control. How easy is it to edit one individual user's access and ability? It is actually painfully easily to reassign abilities and access from a folder level, from a user group level, or an individual user level. It really is that straightforward. And all individual users can be assigned a quota of storage. You can limit the amount of space they've got, and it tells you the number of files, number of folders, and everything you need is directly accessible from this user interface. And remember, as mentioned earlier, what you can do, so we'll use Kevin as the example again. If we make our way into the QFinder Pro application, right click, we map our network drive. We want access to one of the folders, and to prove that we've got access to this folder, say public media, we want to map that network drive. We have to sign in with Kevin's name. And now Kevin's attributes and what he's allowed to see on the NAS, we can now make into a network drive. We're going to make that Q unimaginatively. And now on the PC, we now have a network drive. This network drive can now be used in the same way that your C drive can be used. You can right click, pin it to quick access, and now you've got access there to Kevin's selection of folders and files. And that's really it. Assigning users groups to a QNAP NAS is very easy indeed. We'll be going through some of the other NAS brands. Once again, thank you so much for the question there. That was the result of this video. There'll be more questions to your queries in the comments, so do let me know below if there's any other videos you want to see on a NAS. Otherwise, don't forget, buy your NAS from guys@span.com. Learn about NAS at NAS Compares. Send me a question via Twitter at RobbieOnTheTube, and thank you so much for watching.